What is Cardano's next move? I have two important charts that I need to show you immediately, and then a major announcement where the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, revealed he might be working very closely with the Trump administration. And all of these things are going to have major impacts on the Cardano price. So let's go right into the price action. Now, first, I want to talk about these broadening wedges. And a big shout out to Ben Cowan putting this on my radar. He just put out a great video, Cardano Dubious Speculation. And I want to cover some of the things he dropped, as well as add some new information and a hidden ADA Bitcoin chart trading pattern I'm the first to invent. Now, this is the broadening wedge we're seeing with Cardano priced in dollars. So we started to, create this wedge, you can say January of 2023. So we're going on a couple years. This is the same thing Cardano did before it had a breakout last cycle. This cycle, we started 23. Last cycle started around December 2018. You can see, we tested the top a few times, came back down, and then finally had a breakout. So we're going to see some similar things here. We're kind of come up, we start the channel 1, 2, 3, and the fourth test is when we finally broke through. It just took a while. And so we start the channel 1, 2, 3. And then we have this ugly fourth section where we are trying to break through. First thing we need to look at, how long did this take? And then this may give us our first date target for when a Cardano breakout might happen here. So we first test it there 40 days later. 40 days later, when we look right here, first tested it here, go forward 40 days. Folks, we are running out of time. Literally days, a couple days from now. So we really don't have much time for this to happen. And it looks like we've already ran out of time. It doesn't look like we're going to knock through it tomorrow, which is what we need. And so this is already kind of breaking down, but don't expect this to be exactly 40 days. You can see we tested it, acted like we want to come to the bottom of the channel, and then we did make a decisive move to the upside. Could see the same thing here. Now, the second thing I want to talk about are these circles. These are the January little scam pumps. We'll go to the president shortly. This is January 2024. Create a little local top there, pretty much around the same time of the year, 11th of January. And then last cycle, it's the same thing. We had the 7th of January and the 17th of January. Now, these had significant pullbacks, and this is why I want to show you this. This was 35% over 4 days. Very, very quick, very massive. We have 30% over 5 days. And this is a log chart, so you wouldn't even think it. Even that was, considerable downtrend, 17, knocking near 20% downtrends. So January 2021, the last post-halving year, a lot of pullbacks for Cardano. Cardano didn't break free until February 1st. We might be seeing the same thing here. We're seeing some pretty significant pullbacks. Our first one is measuring 42%, so a little bit more significant, but 35 to 42, not that much different. Then we're seeing another 25% pullback. And if we have until February, we still got plenty of time for Cardano to make its move, consolidate, and then finally give people what they're wanting, which is be a breakout right there around February 1st. Big shout out to our sponsor, Arculus, for help making this possible. Disco fam, if you got some gains this cycle by following our calls, make sure you hold on to your gains and get yourself an Arculus card. We want to help you out, so we gave you a code DC20 and it'll help you save 20%. They're a great sponsor of this channel. We love working with them and we really like it. If you want to help support us, go get yourself an Arculus. It makes a fantastic Christmas gift. Let's hold on to our gains and I'll see you at the top. And the next thing I want to show you in the chart was ADA BTC. Now, I said I have found a trading pattern nobody else has found. I'm going to call it the Kabuki pattern, the Kabuki mask, because it kind of looks like a Kabuki mask. We're going to see some eyes, some cat ears, a little line underneath one of the eyes here. So this is evolving January as well, but the most important level for Cardano and Bitcoin to me is the 1,000 sat area. So you can see it up there. This is 1,000 sats, and Cardano is trading within 6 sats of 1,000 sats. Now, sat is just a unit of Bitcoin. We went from a low of 400 previous cycle, 400 and some change this cycle, and we've been as high as 6,000 and a little bit of a wick up to almost 9,000 sats. So this is how Cardano is priced when you compare it to Bitcoin. Now, the sats level around 1,000 tells a very important tale and has done it multiple times. And we're going to go and draw out some lines here. So this is when we broke above 1,000 sats. You can see when we broke above 1,000 sats, we kind of have this consolidation period between the two peaks. and we had a little bit of a breakdown right before we broke up. Kind of looks like a little kabuki face, right? Maybe a little troll face. I don't know, some sort of face there. Let's go back to the previous part of the 4-year cycle, 2021, the tail end of 2020. This is the area finally, trying to get above right there. And now we're going to look at the area right before we broke out of 1,000 sats, which is what we're trying to do right now. And so we might see some pretty strong similarities. So let's draw our next kabuki face here. So we got our little eye. We got our little crooked smile. We got our little eye right there with our little eye indent. And so we see just a lot of similarities. So we came back down from, bull market high, bounced off 1,000 Satoshis. I mean, this is actually very, very close to exactly 1,000. It wicked down to 982. You can see a lot of action right there at 1,000. So we bounced off 1,000 Satoshis, then broke down below, then shot above. So we came down, we hit 1,000 Satoshis. You can see, a lot of action around that area, broke down below, and then went above. After we went above, we had a long consolidation period, kind of a little bit of a cup pattern here. Broke down below, a little bit of a cup pattern there with a strong move to the upside, and then we wicked down below 1,000 Satoshis. After that, we came down and we tested 500 sats. That's very, very bearish when the low was 400 sats. Going down to 500, you want to have a stronger bounce than that. But Cardano didn't care. It would still go on to pump from 2 cents to $3. That is 150x you're seeing during this move here. Maybe a little bit more like this move. So that's still 150x right there, even though we came back down. So we could potentially have a lot more bearish moves ahead of us. But I'm not worried. I'm not going to get shaken out of the markets. I do think Cardano is going to have a little bit more strength, mostly because of the Charles Hoskinson Trump angle, which I'm going to talk about in a few seconds here. But if you see a little bit of a breakdown and we lose 1,000 sats for Cardano, doesn't mean we're going to, crash down to 500, but it could very well mean we crash down several hundred sats there, similar to what we did right here. Just keep an eye out on some of these levels. If we do crash below, I do expect us to start retesting it, and hopefully we won't have any large moves to the downside. So we just wanted to show the echoing patterns we're seeing with DZ's Kabuki pattern chart that he just made up by himself. All right, the news with Charles and Trump is major. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, may decide crypto policy in 7 days' time. Trump is going to form a crypto advisory of 24 leaders to draft legislation when he comes into power next week. Charles has revealed his past involvement in organizing a team to shape crypto policies. Let's listen to what he says, and then I'm going to tell you the real meaning behind this.
Anytime there's a presidential transition, it's a very complex affair. And actually, the Treasury Secretary has yet to be selected, and they're kind of winnowing down. So that sets all crypto policy. So right now, most of the discussions are with the legislative branch. I'm having dinner tomorrow with Senator Scott.
Whoa. Lunch with Senator Scott. Now, that might not have meant that much a year ago, but that means a lot more in 2025, and there's a reason for that, and nobody has mentioned this. After 2024 elections, Scott was elected chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. This is where it gets really bullish for Cardano. Scott will also chair the Senate Banking Committee at the start of the 2025 term. So we have one of the most powerful senators meeting with Charles Hoskinson for lunch on the eve of Donald Trump creating a crypto council of 24 thought leaders. If Charles is one of these thought leaders, I expect just a lot of attention and a lot of bullish sentiment towards Cardano, and then that's when you start talking about $10 ADA. I know that sounds crazy, but that's not going to seem that crazy when we shoot to $2 in a blink of an eye, and I think that's very doable. So I wanted to put all this Cardano news on your radar. I am eternally bullish on this coin, but when I see things like this in the charts and I see Charles having lunch with Tim Scott, can't help but feel bullish. Hopefully I'll see you in your ADA bags at the top.